Hello and welcome to Dr. VGP Talk Show. Hello and welcome to Dr. VGP Talk Show that reaches 42 million households, including 2 million households in Chicagoland. Our guest at today's talk show is a financial expert, a wealth management wizard of 39 years of experience, who today is going to share the secret which most of us seek, wealth's financial miracle. You're going to meet an Arab American who was born in Detroit, Michigan, and has transformed the lives of thousands of people by his wise financial counsel, including his counseling, who believes in family first, it's faith first, family next, and having fun in life. All of us today, being the summer, all of us plan vacations, graduations, taking our kids out. For all that, we need the vital vitamin M. We need extra finances, extra money saved away for that time to enjoy. Listen to Dr. VGP's talk show today and meet our guest who has over 4 decades of financial expertise, who is going to share us the wealth's financial miracle, which could give you sound advice on how to preserve the wealth you have and make it multiply. Please welcome Tom Hakim, the chief from Detroit, Michigan, representing Wells Real Estate Investment Group from Palm Beach, Florida. Welcome to Dr. VGP's talk show that reaches 42 million households, including 2 million households in Chicagoland. We have with us today Mr. Tom Hakim.
Hi, Doc.
Hi, how are you, Chief?
Good.
Tom Hakim is a wealth management expert of 39 years. He is not only a financial wizard, he has also served as a radio host, a popular NBC of Detroit's TV financial host. He's a great motivational speaker, and what he's well known for throughout America and beyond is his wit, humor, and vitality. Lovely to have Tom Hakim from Detroit, Michigan with us today at Dr. VGP Talk Show, a Lebanese American born in Detroit, Michigan, USA, where the largest Arab American population outside of the Middle East resides in Dearborn, a suburb of Detroit, Michigan. That's incredible to know that the largest Arab American population outside of Middle East resides in our neighbor in Dearborn, a suburb of Detroit. Incredible, Tom.
It's pretty amazing that that's where people from all over the Middle East settled. Lebanese, Syrians, Iraqi, Iranians, Saudis, and the community is blessed with good people, good neighbors, the best food in the world. I think that it's a tribute. The predominant Jewish society is in Southfield, Michigan, right next door, and everybody has a great relationship with all the different faiths and different people. And I think that's a tribute to the city of Detroit and obviously its close suburbs.
Tom, tell us about your growing up years in Michigan, and then you moved at 9 years to New York.
Yeah, my dad's family was from Michigan. My dad was originally in the grocery business. And like all families, we were very close. We had two, three families living in one house. It was fun and we learned a lot. I actually would walk deliveries for my dad in the neighborhood because he delivered groceries with my cousins. And then my dad finally decided to move on. My mom was from upstate New York, from Albany. She's also Lebanese. And he just got this instinct. He said, okay, it's time to move. We went and he opened up a supper club, which was originally a neighborhood bar. And I said to him, Pa, how come you opened a bar? You don't drink. And he said, I love people. I like the action. If I've got to work, I might as well be work where
So
I'm
your
having
dad
fun.
opened up a supper and a dance club, which was famous as well as infamous. May I take it in New York?
Oh, absolutely. It was pretty famous. It was known as in the early years as the wedding club because so many people met there and then got married afterwards. Had entertainment 7 nights and actually we did international. We had Irish Week. We brought in an Irish band, had Irish food. Arab Week, we had belly dancers, brought in Arabic food. Italian night.
Great.
It was fun.
Yeah.
And it
So
was.
what brought you back to Detroit from New York?
I always loved Detroit. Even as a young teenager, as soon as I could drive, I would drive out to Detroit and visit my family, my dad's family, my cousins, and I just loved Detroit. And so once my dad retired, was getting ready to retire, my brother and I, we said, let's move to Florida. It's nice and warm and beautiful. And so my dad said, go out to Detroit, take care of some family business. And I tell people to this day, we got as far as Detroit, we forgot to make the left turn, never got to Florida, and I don't regret it. I love Detroit. I met my wife. I have a great family from there. So
You're a household name in Detroit.
I've been
Today,
blessed.
being 39 years as a wealth management expert. Tell us, how did you get started from assisting your dad in a supper and a hot dance club in New York to becoming a wealth management expert?
Actually, it was the last thing I ever wanted to do. I had a great friend of mine who was an attorney. And as he was finishing law school, he was in the wealth management business. And I asked him which one of his brothers, who were all lawyers, he was going to practice with. And he said, I'm staying in the wealth management business and you should get in it too. After he recovered from the shock of me hitting him, knocking him on the floor with that idea, he said, no, you'll be good. I said, I don't want anything to do with it. He said, you know people, you like people. He said, so come sit with me and start to look at this. I began to learn and I liked it. I loved the ability to deal with people every day, all different experiences constantly. And eventually, after about 6, 7 months, I met my first partner and we started an independent firm. And it was all history after that.
So Hakim Financials, as you're well known in Midwest and throughout the country, how many clients did you have?
Well, I think collectively well over 1,000. And like a Ferris wheel, we would say they come and they go. People move on. They have all kind of reasons. Never bothered us when that happened. I think that we drove home the point of communication and the seriousness of real life events involved with the money aspect, which seems to get away from a lot of people. If you don't understand the human aspect of people, it's very difficult to advise them what to do with their money, their estates, etc.
What is the largest financial advice have you given over your 39-year-old career?
Well, we did advise some of the unions, millions of dollars, and individuals up to $20 million. And we had individuals that had $10,000 that were our clients for life. So we never had a minimum and we never said, you're not invited. And if we can give you advice or help advise to send you to somebody you should be talking to, that's what we prided ourselves on.
So an average client of yours would be anywhere 1 to 2 million.
Yeah,
Small
probably.
clients would also be there.
Probably in that ballpark.
$50,000. Now, did you see your services making a difference in people's lives? How did you, this wealth management is such a niche word, often used, but did you really make a difference? How did you make the difference?
Overused. Let me give you an example. In the last 2 years that I had my company, I had 3 different couples come in, very nice, successful couples, and you gather all the information about them and their family. And of those 3 couples, 2 had a child under the age of 16 that committed suicide, and 1 had a 21-year-old that drug overdose. When you're sitting across from somebody and gathering the information about who they are, you don't just get, this is what I have in my bank account. You get every aspect of their life. And at that point, you have to know how to adjust where you are and be able to, in a good way, professionally still console them, professionally help them. Every family that ever sat in front of me, and this is news to the world, all have issues. And that was part of our success.
So you were able to educate them and veer them around towards financial success.
Absolutely. But a lot of it comes from human success and human settlement of what their issues are at the time. You know, everybody doesn't get along. So a lot of times the husband, the wife, the partner, they didn't even agree on what they do.
So what I'm trying to understand from what you're telling me is that you were not only able to educate them on financial, but you helped them also in other areas of communication, the gaps which you found in the family situations. So you became like a counselor, not just financial, became part of the family and took charge.
Oh, yeah. And we celebrated that every year for over 30 years.
Yeah. Could you tell us one of your success stories?
I think one of the great success stories was a priest friend of mine came to me and asked me, everybody has a church lady, a lady that makes no money, very poor, but spends her life helping the church. And he came to me, and he's very close still to this day, one of my best friends. And he said, my church lady wants to have a retirement plan. And I said, okay. And so I went and had lunch, and I said, asked her, well, what do you want to do? She said, I want to save about $5 a week. And I said, well, okay. So at the time you needed $50 to even open an account. I said, okay, well, put $5 a week into your drawer. And once you get to 50, we'll get started. And she said, no, I don't have that discipline. I'm going to send you the $5. Well, in the financial world, you don't accept cash from people. So I'm thinking, well, if I put my career online for $5, I guess that's what it is. And so she did that. We opened the account. A wonderful lady came to me 2 years later and said to me, we're doing well, right? I said, you're doing fine. She said, okay, I have some sad news. My sister in Florida passed away, and I don't know what to do because I inherited her estate, and I think it's $2 million.
Wow.
And I have no idea what to do. She has a house. I said, okay, if I have to go to Florida, I'll go meet with the people down there. We'll get everything moved up here and get you settled. And at the time, she was living in a very low income area in Detroit. And she said to me, do you think I can buy a condo now? And I said, I think you're going to be okay. And I was blessed. The lady, we got her moved. She never got any more. She was frugal all the time. Well, I left her family the money when she passed. But I always felt that was my greatest success because so many advisors will say, oh, you can't talk to me unless you have X amount of money.
Absolutely.
And there's times when I think we do our best work with that people. That's not the issue.
And I think that's very important for all our viewers to know that you don't need to have $1 million to get advice from a wealth management expert or a financial advisor like Tom. Even your little $5 a week makes a huge difference. As you just heard a success story of how the lady who saved $5 a week to become $50, and then that turned into a $2 million plus account. It's an incredible, and I'm sure, I think all of us hesitate to consult a financial advisor because we feel ashamed to share our finances with others, show our credit card statements without having much money in the bank. We say, what will he think of us? But you, from what I hear you telling us, is always seek out advice, which comes for nothing, and you might be able to not only successfully manage your finances, but multiply your finances.
And with today's technology, there's so much out there that you can even do on your own. And just, if you don't want to sit with somebody, go online, look at some balance sheets, help yourself out. And I think over the course of time, you'll have that feeling of self-confidence and a feeling that, hey, I'm doing okay. And I think that's the whole bottom line, because none of us know if we're going to be here tomorrow. So why wouldn't you want to feel okay today?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Tell us, you were NBC Detroit's TV financial expert wizard. Could you recall any one incident where NBC TV called you and share with our viewers what was the exciting news was, what was the question? And
First of all, I always, when people ask me, I say the reason that they called me is they couldn't get a real expert, and I was willing to go downtown. Yeah, I do recall the one. I always recall the one that was the most fun, interesting for me. Unfortunately, when Steve Jobs died,
Steve Jobs is the Apple
founder, and it was huge news. And they called me and said, can you come down tomorrow morning and do the early news? We need to know what's going to happen, because he's an icon, and what's going to happen to the company. And so, being the good guy I am, I got up 3 a.m. to head downtown Detroit and be on the 6 o'clock news. And it's interesting. People think that television is really a big deal. It's really not. There's a few cameras, and the anchors actually read everything. They're not making this up in their head. But so the 2 anchors were both friends of mine, and the one said, okay, Tom, what we're going to do is we're going to introduce you. We're going to show some video of Steve Jobs and Wall Street and Apple, and then we're going to get to the serious questions. And I said, okay, that's fine. So they put on the first tape, and it showed all the ruckus on Wall Street. It showed all the confusion that happens every day. And they said, okay, Tom, let's get right to it. The icon, Steve Jobs, passed away. Let's ask you first and foremost, what effect is that going to have on the company? Are they going to survive? And I said, yeah, they're going to survive, because one man isn't the company. The company is his team, and his team will move on. They said, well, what'll miss? Well, some of his relationships might move on, but that's not going to hurt the company, that when they come out with a phone all over the world, people line up 50, 100, 200 people deep to pay for it and buy one. And that's just the phone. So I think the financial part of the company should be okay. As far as relationships, somebody is groomed to move into that position. Well, then here's the big question. What do you think about the stock when the market opens today? Is it going to go up or is it going to go down?
Millions all over the world. That was the question. First thing on the mind.
I said, well, I'm going to be honest. From my perception, there's a very good chance that the stock could go down a little bit. But there's also a very good chance it might even go up a little bit. They said, thank you, Tom Hakim, our special guest. When I was driving home, I must have got 20 text messages and 50 emails within the next hour. And what people said to me was, that's the best you have? It could go up, it could go down. I said, well, I think I had the right answer. So that was one incident. I mean, I had good times. They came to my house a few times when there was an incident. They wanted to do something. And my wife, Karen, would make me laugh, because she says, oh, they're coming to the house. We got to pick up the house. We got to go put a shirt on. I said, honey, I got a shirt on. They're only going to shoot this much. You won't see the house. But yeah, it was a lot of fun for me. The people at NBC, very good, close friends of mine. And I learned a lot from them the same way as they did with me.
You know, it's interesting, after 39 years of being one of the most successful wealth management experts in the country and a financial advisor, you chose to retire after a health ailment. And then it just took you 30 days to get you back into the system. You first started out as an independent consultant, and little later you are promoting the multifaceted Wells Real Estate Investment Group out in Florida, which has such a, we call it the financial miracle, which you're going to share with us today. The key component of the Wells Real Estate Management Investment Asset to Income Program is about income alternative program.
Yeah.
So could you tell us in detail about this financial miracle, which is available to every one of us?
Well, I'll start out by saying I retired for 30 days and decided that I had to do a little bit of private consulting because I couldn't sit around. And obviously connected with you, Doc, doing some work with you and a couple other groups. And I was introduced to a group down in Florida by a very close friend of mine and said they have a program that's amazing and you have to look into it. I trust this friend because I helped put her in business in California, and I did look into it and was fascinated by the fact that a multifaceted real estate, not buy and sell houses, a real estate development company, which several different segments that they operate, had come up with this program that basically what it was is to finance their own programs. They have over $500 million in real estate that they own, mostly in Southeast Florida, between West Palm Beach and Miami. The real estate is, the way they raise their funds is on mezzanine loans from individual people.
What type of loans is called? Mezzanine?
Mezzanine, because a mezzanine loan is an in-between loan. So they borrow the money for a short term, they pay it back. The reason they're able to do that is because they collateralize every individual's loan with their real estate portfolio of over $500 million. So it's not an investment of any kind. You don't invest in anything. You don't own anything. You're basically becoming the bank. So you're going to loan them.
So what you're telling us, an individual can give a loan to those wells, and it's a secured loan because it's secured because of the real estate portfolio which they have, which is over $500 million.
Right. Which, by the way, there's a custodian that handles all the financial. There's a law firm down in Miami and New York that handles all the transactional stuff to make sure it stays where it should be. It pays a respectable return, which I don't talk about returns on television or anywhere else. Very respectable return, and it's short term, 18 months, 28 months, 36 months. And so basically you're loaning them your money. They're paying you a very respectable interest rate for a short term. At the end of the term, you get your money back. If you want to renew it, you can. It's available to individuals.
So if somebody wants to contact you, they contact the number which is scrolling down the screen, and your email ID is here.
And I'll forward them. They'll deal directly with Wells. It's one of the most transparent companies I've ever dealt with. The owners and they're my friends. They're very successful, and they're down to earth. The owner,
so this will be like a mezzanine loan, which an individual or a group can give to Wells and experience the financial miracle.
Yeah, I think that it's amazing, the program they put together. The interesting part of it is that they've been over 12 years. They've never had anybody who, the short-term loans are paid directly ACH to your checking account. Your interest is paid every month. And the longer 36-month loan is deferred. But the amazing part of it is they've never missed a payment. And the people, they've raised over $50 million under that scenario.
It's very interesting, and it's awesome program, as we refer to as a financial miracle. 12 years the Wells Real Estate Investment Group has been in business, and with a $500 million portfolio. Who is the face behind this?
Well, it's interesting. The face behind it, the founder, Jonalee Bingham, is a very, very sharp woman, amazing woman, under 40 years old. I'll say that because I'm not positive. She'll like that though better if she sees it. She has 5 beautiful children. Her husband runs the trading platform for the company. And she's one of the most intelligent, down-to-earth people I've ever dealt with. Her team is primarily younger people. The company is primarily run by women, probably why it's so successful, as much as I hate to admit it. But they're so transparent that one of the great things about it, people forward to me the information, say, I'd like to learn more about it. I put them in direct contact with Wells. And then they can actually see, they can go down and kick the tires and look at the real estate if they want. I mean, it's just
terrific. It's one of the most incredible programs I've heard, and I would definitely like to have the face behind on our talk show. Maybe we'll shoot it at Palm Beach, Florida.
Yeah, maybe
go down there and see. So tell me, as a successful wealth management expert, how do you spend your spare time?
Well, my wife and I like to bike, and our kids are grown, and so we bike, we walk. She makes me walk. I tell her I like it. When you walk, you walk.
How important is family to a successful business executive?
2,000%. it's an old school concept, but the concept is you raise your children, then you give them away. And before you give them away, you want to know in your heart you've done everything you could to help them to move forward on their own. We were blessed that way. My wife was graduated from college for 2 years before we got married. Once we got married, she said, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. I want to raise my family. I said, good, I'll work day and night. It's not going to be anything new to me. And we lived frugally, we lived well, and our kids were all been blessed, very successful. I got beautiful granddaughters. That is the key, because you have to have a purpose for what you do every day. And the purpose isn't to get up and make money. The purpose is, what am I doing this for that's going to make a difference? And that starts with your family.
Very well said. Now, if you have given the opportunity to take 3 people out for dinner, they could be present or they could have been in this world. Who would those 3 people be?
Right now, I'm going to count 2 as 1. I would give my left arm, and I'm left-handed, to have dinner with my mom and dad again. I'd love to have dinner with Jesus. I think it'd be interesting. And thirdly, I don't know, maybe Arnold Palmer, because I'm a big golfer. I did get to meet him, but we didn't have dinner.
You named 3 people who, one person who you've named is the first time I'm hearing it in our talk show, Lord Jesus Christ.
Amen.
And your mom and dad shows how much family oriented, or any one of us, I'm sure, would love to have an opportunity to have dinner one more time with our mom and dad. And being an avid golfer, on Palmer is the best you have. So could you, Tom, describe yourself in 3 words? Could you please describe yourself in 3 words for our viewers?
I'd have to say driven, because I wasn't in any position. I was in a position to just kind of slow down, and that didn't work out for me. I love what I'm doing. I love meeting good people. And
so what's the second word? One is driven.
One is driven. One is, it's got to be about faith.
Faith.
That's the second word.
So
I'm a person of faith, and I don't deny that, and I'm very proud of it. And I don't know if I want to say no filter, sarcastic. They all fall in the same arena. As I get older, the filter goes down and down and down.
So you would say inclusive?
Yeah, I could say that'd be a nice way to put it.
So Tom Hakim, guys, describes himself as driven, a person of faith, and an inclusive personality.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much again, you gave us so much useful information. It's terrific to learn about the Wells Financial Miracle, and I'm sure you're going to have a lot of our viewers excited, reaching out to you to get more information about that, because today everybody wants a financial miracle. A daily wage earner, an executive, an educationist, a millionaire would still want a financial miracle. And you've described it so simple and easy. And we're really thankful for having you with the show. What's your message to our viewers?
I would say that if you keep the 3 F's, faith, family, and fun. To me, if you can keep those in order, your life, I don't think you'll have regrets. We all hit bumps, we all have negative spots, but I think the 3 F's, if you can try to keep them in order and live by that, I don't think there's too much more you could ask for.
Wonderful. It was a wonderful message that you gave us. Remember, Tom Hakim, the financial wizard from Detroit, Michigan, who's right now promoting the financial miracle from Wells, the Wells Real Estate Investment Group out in Florida, says faith, family, and fun. If you practice it, believe in it, you can't go wrong. And it's these 3 F's is coming from the 4th F, a most profound financial wizard. Thank you so much, Tom, for joining us on Dr. VGP's Talk Show.
Thank you,
and
my
we're
friend.
sure We'll see you again, and we look forward to meeting the brain, the face behind the Wells Real Estate Investment Group, Miss Bigham in Palm Beach. Thank
Beautiful.
you so much.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you.